Hello, and welcome to Fun with Open Source Intelligence, brought to you by Pentester Academy. My name is Jamal Bandakwala, and I will be your host for this fun and exciting course. In today's video, we are going to be building our own Google custom search engine. So we're going to be doing Lab 2, where we will build, as I said, our own Google custom search engine. And as you can see above, there's a brief recipe, which is basically things I want you to think about. What are you looking for? How do you define success? Like, what search results are you looking for? What's your end game? Is this information useful to you? What search parameters are you using? How good is your hit list? And searching and fine-tuning as needed. We will also be doing a brief demo of some of the tools we've talked about previously. Multigo, Creepy, and Multigo, Creepy, and maybe a couple more. And this here is a list of some of the sites I use myself, and I had mentioned I would supply some. So as you can see, there are a number of the sites you might expect, like Pastebin, but you'll also see things like Scribd, Gramfeed, BoardReader, Twitter, and Google Groups and such. Now, while these sites are good, having just these in your Google custom search engine is not enough. You do want others in there as well. So I would also encourage some news sites, maybe Reddit and similar stuff there as well. You have to remember, when you're running a Google custom search, it is going, generally speaking, against just this list, although you can change it to go across the whole internet, but emphasize more on these sites. But really, you're going against a hit list. So the more fine-tuned and better your list is, you'll get a smaller set of results back, but they'll be more relevant to what you are looking for. So let's go ahead and look at building our engine and some demos. So the first tool we talked about was Multigo. Well, this is Multigo. And fairly easy to install. It is available on a number of platforms. In this case, I'm running it on OS X. When you install Multigo, it will ask you to register for it. I do encourage you to do that. It will make your life a lot easier. It needs it to connect through their public servers and such. Multigo is unique because it lets you visually see the connections between different domains and different sites. You can do a lot of this stuff yourself with just Google custom searches or regular Google searches and related matters, but this does help visualize connections and lets you identify other relationships. Now, when you start Multigo, you will, generally speaking, get this option to choose a machine to run. But you can also build your own machines and transformations if you choose to do so. You also do get to install some of these here. I do encourage you to do that. I do that myself. But we're going to look at a couple of searches over here. We're going to do a level 2 footprint search here. And we're going to look for Mosfon. Mosaic Francesca, the major law firm that has been in scandals recently. So you click finish. It takes a few seconds, but it does run this. And it will pick it up momentarily. Now, it may kick in a couple of warnings. Watch them, and for the most part, you can ignore them. And we're going to say that's fine. And as you can see, it's already beginning to make different connections between these domains. It's giving you an idea of what these servers are. And it tells you it's completed. So the key here is, like I said, you can visually see how these different things are connected here. It tells you the NS record for this. And so on and so forth. Now, as I mentioned, there's both a free version and a paid version. The free version is limited in the number of results you can get back, which I believe is limited to 12. The paid version has up to 10,000. So you've got to see if it's worth it for you, but for the most part, the free version tends to work okay. So as you can see, mossfawn.com also has related servers, which lead to other interesting results. And you can run other specific transforms on these results as well, if you choose to go that route. And if you choose to run more specific transforms on these, you can choose to look for specific email addresses and bulk email addresses and so on and so forth as well. But like I said, the real key here is how it helps you graphically look at all these connections and break them down further. There are a number of demos, and there's lots of reading and labs and documentation available for this. Do take a look. And like I said, the main thing here is it'll help you understand these relationships yourself. And that can be really useful in your investigation. Like, for instance, what exactly does mailgate.mossfawn.com connect to? And then you can see it connects to Mossfawn BVI in some ways and Spirit of Panama, which tells you there must be some sort of connection there, and so on and so forth. There are other machines here. The footprint L3 is even more comprehensive, but it does take significantly longer. But that's what I really wanted to show you. There are a number of possibilities in what you can do, but you are limited by the number of results you get back in the free version and your imagination. And we are now going to quit Multigo, and we'll look at some of the other tools available there as well. And in this case, we will discard all. And you will also recall I had mentioned certain other tools previously, Foca being one of them, and Creepy being the other. So we'll look at both these tools. Foca is over here. For both these tools, I encourage you to use Windows. Creepy does have a version that works on Mac and other Linux builds and such, but I found it's easier just to use it on Windows. It just configures and runs without any problems there. Foca is largely Windows based. There is a version that runs on a couple of Linux builds, but it is not the most accurate, and it has its problems. But anyways, Foca is also available free. You just download it. It's pretty point and click, easy to set up. So how Foca works: you can set up a new project or an open open a project if you have one. You go in here, you give yourself a project name, and choose the domain you're looking for, and click Start, create the machine, and it does that for you. It can also find some alternative domains, but not all of them. I'm using Mosfon because that's what we just used when we were looking at Multigo. Something else you may want to consider is pulling up the search results you've got in Multigo or other tools and feeding them into others, like Foca, for instance. Anyways, so when you search things in Foca, it does find interesting bits of information, but you are a bit limited by it's not going to know everything, so you do have to feed the right information into it. For instance, when we ran this here, it identified, of course, 2 different domains, a few different servers, but it's also got a unique metadata collection capability. So with this, it looks for all kinds of documents against mosfon.com, and it searches Google and Bing to do that. In this case, we ran the search when we initially put this together, and it came up with all these results. Now, once it gets these results, you do have to specifically download it. And you can click download, and it will download this specific file if it is able to do so, and it was. And then you select extract metadata, see what it can pull off for you. And you can see it does pull something off in this case. And if you go in here, there's also an analyze metadata option, but it in this case it's already done that. There's not much for it to do, but it does pull off some information. So we can see that while having downloaded that, it's identified a username. It's also identified software. More specifically, it's found Office XP was used. When you go in here, this is the specific document it was talking about. You can see it was created or uploaded at some point in 2013. There is a username of a user who presumably created this or uploaded it, and the software this person was using. So obviously that tells you quite a bit of information. That gives you a username, it gives you a time period that this person was with this organization, and it tells you the software they were using at that time. This can be useful for you when you're trying to identify movements, where people have moved on to and such, when they've moved, and in some cases, if you really go through and you feed other domains and sites in there as well, you may be able to come across passwords and server names and things was tied into in there as well. The other thing here is using Foca, you can also find specific files which may be in interesting locations. And you will notice that for these 3 servers, it did find specific URLs it's provided where you can pull off information that may be interesting to you. And this can be quite useful when you are doing your reconnaissance or targeted searches and what have you on different organizations. So powerful tool. You do have to feed the right information to it, and it can be quite interesting. The metadata stuff you can pull off with this does make it significantly easier, and I do encourage you to take a look. And we will now close Foca. The next tool is Creepy. Creepy, like I said, is available for a number of operating systems. I find it easiest just to use it with Windows. So you download Creepy, you install it, and excuse me. What Creepy is it lets you tie in geolocation capabilities with different relations. Things like tweets and where they were tweeted from, or where a specific search term was tweeted in a given area. So this, again, depends on the information you feed it, and the information you gather while you're pulling off other searches can then be entered in here and give you a different perspective. Now, when you install this, you do have to set a few things up. So I would recommend going to the plugins configuration. And in my case, I've already set up Twitter and Google+, tied into the Melissa account. But essentially, you just go to each of these, click and Run Configuration Wizard. And type in your username and password and authorize it. It'll then give you a code which you enter in here, and you are then in business. In this case, we're not going to do it again because it's already been set up. Once you've got it set up correctly is when you can have some fun with this. So let's do a search. We're going to go with a place-based project in this case. You get two options, people or place. We're going to go with the place-based project. We are going to look for Mosfon. And you've got to specify what keywords you're looking for. So in this case, we're going to look for Mosfon. We're going to look for Panama. And we're going to look for Panama Papers. And now we've got to specify where exactly we are looking to see where this information was tweeted and such. In this case, we will look for the UK. And we also have to configure and enlist what distance we're looking for. So in this case, we're going to type in 200 kilometers from this location. We're going to go with tweets because that's what we're interested in here. And we're going to include all this. And we're going to hit finish. Now, that creates the actual project. We will now analyze the project and pull off our results. Now this will take some time, so we'll go on to our next building our engine, and then we'll come back and look at our results here. So let's look at our Gmail account again. Of course, this is Melissa Brathorn, our made-up fake consultant who has managed to get a number of people connected via LinkedIn and such. She's also got a Twitter account and 4 followers. Again, she doesn't exist. And we are now going to build a Google custom search. So we will do that right now. And start with we're going to go to Google. We're going to type in custom search engine. and it takes us to the Google CSC page, which is what we're looking for. Now, as I mentioned, it is pretty point and click for the most part, but it depends on, your results will depend on what information you're feeding this. So it's pretty straightforward by terms of look. We're going to name this OSINT Fun, and we'll start by giving it one site. Reddit. You have to give it at least one site to start. And we're going to leave the advanced operators out of it for now, and we're going to click create. So we have successfully created our own Google custom search engine. Now we're going to add a few more sites to it and search. Now, to find your Google custom search engine, you need the public URL, which takes you here. You can customize this, including the look and feel, if you so choose to do that. You can do that by going to Edit Search Engine, going to Setup, and you can give it a description and search engine keywords if you choose to do that. I will be turning on the image search. If you go to public URL, that tells you your engine right there. We're going to call this the OSINT Fun Engine. That's our description too. If you go into indexing, you will see we've got the console, which lets us index and remove requests. These are some of the advanced features we talked about earlier. We're not going to do that right now, but that does show you where you can find stuff. Here's how you can change the look and feel of your engine if you choose to do that. And there are other refinements you can do, which we're not interested in right now. So we've got Reddit.com in here. We are going to add a few more sites into this, and we will do them in bulk. So we click on Add, we click on Sites in Bulk, and we're going to enter a few in here. We do want some new sites because this will make our life easier. And we're also going to go with and now we're also going to add some of the other sites I had mentioned earlier. So we're now going to also copy some of these ones here. And you want to make sure each of these is in a separate line. And we'll keep those there for now. There are others as well, but we will start with these. You save it, it tells you we've got 21 sites on here. And well, we do have this here. We're going to close this for now. I'm going to click an update. Should already be saved, but we will do that anyway. We will now click on the public URL, and this takes us here. So, to give you so let's take a quick look at what we can find. And let's see what we get here. Okay, so we could type in and we've got about 243 million, which is actually not bad. And we'll see things from a number of places. Type in India. Let's type in India. So if you type in India, you've got 909 million results. If you type in India in OSINT Fun, we've got a significantly smaller number of results. Well, not all of them will be relevant to us. You will notice they're coming largely from the sites we have fed in here. Now, we can go in and change things as we need to. You're seeing that hit from BuzzFeed because it's on Facebook. You're seeing the BBC ones. There are others in here as well, and we can modify it by adding more stuff in here. You can see the Twitter, the tweets that include India. And you're seeing a few odd ones because of Facebook and such. But if you go through the other sites in here, there are a couple in here which will also give you different results. So if you look for India and defense, you're going to come across things from other places dealing with terrorist attacks and such. And again, you'll find different things. Facebook, lots of Facebook groups and such. And the key here is I want you to see that the results you get back are significantly smaller than you would with a normal Google search. This is a good thing, but it depends on the types of sites you've got on your hit list. And you can fine-tune that depending on what you're looking for. So, there you go. You have now built your own Google custom search engine. And you have a powerful list of sites to start with. And you can fine-tune things as you need to. And you will see that the results in normal Google are quite different than the ones you get in your Google custom search. And our search at Mossfawn has completed as well. And you will see that it has pulled off a number of locations where these terms were tweeted, and it's mapped them for us. So as you can see that there were a number of terms. We've got location, where they were coming from, and there are a number of places where these were tweets, these tweets came and were retweeted from. So as you can see, you have a number of options here. You feed the information you get in one tool, whether it's a Google custom search engine or something like Multigo, and those results can be refed in other tools to expand your knowledge and understand what options you have. And that is really what we've got here. And as you saw, those are the sites. And that is all time we have for now. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you.